Yes, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk and time for me to bid you a very pleasant night wherever you are in St. Kitts and Nevis and or throughout the Caribbean region. I say greetings to my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Nevision diaspora, those who are logged on, those who are on the World Wide Web and logged on to zizonline.com and or Sugar City FM St. Kitts.com. Chico, if you are hearing me, if you're on the radio, come back for one moment. You forgot something here. But those who are on the World Wide Web, some of you are in Asia, some of you are in Africa, some of you are in Europe, and a whole lot of you are all over North America. So I say good night. I can say good morning, and in some cases, I can say good afternoon, because one of such greetings is applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. Yes, Chico's just out and Patch is in. Chico, if you're listening to me, just snap back in the studio for one moment. But Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's in the process continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join me in conversation on yet another occasion. And my Straight Talk family. If you're joining me for the first time, just be advised that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean you can join us via the telephone number 465-2555 and or 718-577-2916. There's some who like the cloak of anonymity and they want to be heard, so they use the email platform. And I give preference, I would say, to those who are calling. Sometimes some of the messages that come via email, I have to be ultra wary, ultra cautious to even read some of them. So I much prefer you be careful with some of the things you write as well, my Straight Talk family. So if you hear me not reading the emails, you know why. Because some of the things I'm not going to be exposed in terms of the bordering on libel and things like that, and so for the station as well. But my Straight Talk family, as I said before, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. And today was another historic day for St. Kitts and Nevis and your team unity government as we turn soil for what will be, upon completion, the largest solar farm in the entire Caribbean region. Yes, the largest solar farm in the entire Caribbean region, my Straight Talk family. And that's what St. Kitts does, leads in many ways and in most ways. Here's some details on that solar farm.
I do want to just give a quick few details about the project. So some of you know about it more than others, and I want to make sure that it's understood in a reasonable sense of what we're going to be building here. If you look out across the road, across Kim Collins Highway, a year from now, you're going to see an array of solar panels. We're going to install 35 megawatt hours or 35 megawatts of solar panels in this Basse-Terre Valley. It's important that we're able to utilize that power then to not only provide power during the day and reach the peak needs for the St. Kitts, but also we will store some of that power in a battery, a big battery, a lithium-ion battery system that will be close to the Skellig power station and will interconnect directly with the Skellig power station. It'll be a system that'll be intertwined and interconnected, and with the Skellig system through our advanced software system, administrative software, along with the Skellig operational and control system.
So yes, that's just some details of that particular solar energy plant that's going to be up there on just off the Kim Collins Highway. And what's very interesting as well, this project, it's going to be a $70 million project, and believe it or not, at no cost to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, no cost to Skellig, no cost to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. My Stray Dog family.
The project essentially is about harnessing the power, the energy from sun through the solar panels, the array of panels which will be installed close to the ground you are today. At the heart of the project is an innovative energy management software from Liburd, which binds this energy into Liburd's energy storage systems. This green power plant, as we call it, will deliver green electricity to Skellig when needed 7 by 24. Upon completion, more than 25% of electricity in St. Kitts will come from this green power plant. To the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, what does it really mean? It means that we will power your homes in the night with solar energy. Your air conditioners, your tourist resorts, your hotels, your businesses. We will do so in a way that Liburd and his investment partners, we will fund the complete project. In other words, Skellig will not to put any upfront capital investment. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis get access to clean green energy without Skellig putting any upfront capital investment.
No capital investment for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and or Skellig. You'll get clean green energy, my Stray Dog family. And that's what Team Unity is all about. We're all about taking Himalayan strides in history. We're all about transformation of this country. And St. Kitts and Nevis continues to be a model for the region in so many ways, and now moving forward with renewable energy. My Stray Dog family.
In the years to come, once this project succeeds, then the rest of the world will look to our leadership and our success in alternative green energy, and they will point to St. Kitts and Nevis as their model. Leadership does in fact matter. My government recognizes the direct risks of climate change negatively impacting upon our agriculture, our fisheries, our forestry, our healthcare systems, and indeed our tourism. All pillars of our economy are being impacted by the phenomenon of climate change.
Yes, my Stray Dog family. And we continue to lead the region economically, or from an economics perspective, I should say, standpoint, and technologically as well. We are moving forward with clean, green energy. Yes, we continue to be leaders, and we have a great leader as well, my Stray Dog family.
I hope those here present and those who are viewing understand the importance, the shattering moment in history which this project represents. In my view, the project which we are launching officially today marks yet another signal achievement by my team Unity Administration, in which St. Kitts and Nevis continues to be a leader in the economic union and the greater Caribbean region. We all not only know of, but mostly agree with the worldwide need for urgent and systematic move to renewable green energy. This means for us the reduced reliance on depleting fossil fuels, but more importantly, for arresting the real, clear, and present danger of climate change and its adverse impact on life and livelihoods.
Yes, climate variability has impacted us negatively over the years. And what we are doing is building resilience in our little beloved country of St. Kitts and Nevis. We're building resilience across Old Road Bay. Now we are building resilience in the energy sector, my straight dog family. And one of the things I always say, that we here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and a matter of fact throughout the Caribbean islands, we are blessed with wind, we are blessed with sunshine, and here in St. Kitts and Nevis we are blessed with 2 volcanoes, one on St. Kitts and one on Nevis. So we ought to continue to embark on our geothermal development as it relates to the volcanoes. We continue, we have embarked, beg your pardon, upon the development of solar energy, yes, from the sunshine. And of course, we have wind. So yes, we can generate power from wind as well, my street dog family. But in the process, we are also preparing our people, our young people in particular, and all to be part of this sector. And this was made quite clear by the Minister with responsibility, now with responsibility for infrastructure, and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards.
We are also actively preparing our locals to find employment in this sector. This year, 42 persons from the Federation were trained free of cost as solar PV technicians, installers, and inspectors. This training prepared them to sit the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners, NABCEP, exam. During Energy Month, we engage our primary, secondary, and tertiary students with an art competition in the primary schools, an essay competition in the secondary schools, and the facilitation of tours to a wind and solar farm for students from our tertiary institutions.
Yes, we are preparing our people. And this particular project, I'm advised, I should say, would employ over 100 persons during the construction stage, and quite a lot of local subcontractors would be needed. So listen up, my straight dog family, especially those in the equipment business and so on. I'm certain that you'll be hearing from them. And I'm quite frankly, I myself was humbled to have been part of this project. I was humbled to be part of this project as part of our transformation. I was humbled to lead the infrastructural development, and I too am humbled to have started this project. It took us a long time because we are a government that puts due diligence at top priority in our cabinet. So this took us a long time, my straight dog family, but I'm happy that today we were part of that particular groundbreaking ceremony, and I look forward to the completion of this project. And I was humbled to be even recognized publicly, my straight dog family.
I also would like to also recognize one person in particular, Mr. Ian Patches Liburd, who's been was a you all know him as Patches. He was a real inspiration and visionary towards this project, implementing the policy for renewable energy in St. Kitts. This is a big step, a momentous step for that, and it really is an honor to have him involved in this. And he's been really guiding Skellig and providing some leadership throughout the last 2 years as we went through this process.
Yes, I said I was humbled to be part of and that transformation and continue to be part, even from the outside. I said my Street Dog family, and I recognize and humbled by
the project well. I want to commend all who have been associated with the project. I personally don't take any credit for it from the point of view that is a project which began under my predecessor in the ministry, Ambassador Ian Patches Liburd. And for that, we must commend him. The project has finally gotten off of the ground. We are quite thankful for it. I extend gratitude also to those from La Clanche, from Isolred. Raj has indicated to you that he is no stranger to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He would have done a number of lighting projects here, and so we welcome Raj and his team back to the Federation to assist us as we move towards our goal in 100% renewable energy. Thank you.
Yes, and that's the Minister with responsibility for public infrastructure and Deputy Prime Minister and colleague Sean Richards there. And as I said, prepared, our people are prepared for this new sector, newly launched sector, renewable energy sector, I should say. And before I go to the lines, it's what, 20 past 8 o'clock. I perhaps need to reflect a bit, because someone called me today in relation to our project, our program, I should say, on Monday last. And I had to think twice before I even responded. And I had to say to that individual who called me that I had to refer to that Genevan philosopher, writer, and composer, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who was born way back in 1712, who influenced the progress of the Enlightenment throughout Europe, as well as aspects of the French Revolution and the development of modern political, economic, and educational thought through his political philosophy. Rousseau opined in his writings that the only legitimate political authority is the authority consented to, or the authority consented to, I should say, by all the people, who have agreed to such government by entering into a social contract for the sake of their mutual preservation. And the social contract is that government attains its right to exist and to govern by the consent of the governed. And this is a philosophy that Rousseau advanced. Now, there's lots of things, what I call shenanigans going on, because I am advised that the opposition party is about to convene a convention, and the annual convention of the party is imminent, and it is anticipated that there will be a leadership showdown. Douglas, it is further anticipated, would be removed from the leadership of the party after some 33 years at its helm. So Douglas will soon be gone, I'm told. And for that reason, some people like Appleton and many others within the opposition are hatching or have hatched a political conspiracy, an insidious plot to try to remove our most successful and current leader from the office of Prime Minister and leader of the PLP. I say it borders on being ridiculous. The insidious attempt to automatically kick out effective lawmakers, Now, mark you, the issue from the expression of many, I should say, there is a prevalent view that we should not mandate that our most effective and seasoned lawmakers be forced out of the institution called Parliament. Instead, as constituents, we should rely on the most effective and efficient mechanism available to remove unresponsive, inefficient, and ineffective members of Parliament. And that's why we have elections. And you see, if you listen to Parliament, you see quite a lot of ineffective parliamentarians. Now, mark you, the case for term limits is strong, given as some people advance the potential to curtail the forces of corruption that so many assume dictate the ways of government. But precisely because the creation of successful public policies by even the most experienced of officials is so difficult and uncertain, kicking out popular and competent lawmakers simply because their time runs out ultimately results in a bad return on investment of the time spent, beg your pardon, learning and mastering the ins and outs of policy making in Parliament. Leadership regulation can be made without going to the route of constitutional reform, like some callers to my program on Monday firmly believe. Former Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda Baldwin Spencer gave his opinion on term limits way back in 2014. And this is what Baldwin Spencer had to say.
I'm not too sure that that is necessarily going to help the democratic process. I don't know if it would necessarily help the whole question of leadership. Now, it is true that I had sort of hinted that in my personal case, that is what I would consider doing. But I thought that that was more self-regulatory, looking at the situation and determining what would be best advised for me to consider doing that, having been involved in the process for a considerable period of time.
Self-regulatory, that's an operative word there. The proposition for term limits here in the Federation was born out, or it came from, the bad experience we had to endure because of a leader who was determined to hold on to power infinitum, forever. Former Member of Parliament and political activist Richard Keynes, may his soul rest in peace, had this to say also back in 2014 when the former Prime Minister turned our Parliament into a useless instrument. And here's what Richard had to say, my straight talk family. I missed that, Richard Keynes. Where's Richard Keynes? But let's get back to that. I'll get back to Richard Keynes, my straight talk family. I'll get back to that in terms of our dear friend Sir Richard, I call him. I needed to play that. I wanted you to hear that, my straight talk family. But let's get going nonetheless. I'll find that for you. But he had something very important to say. But really, it was in the context. It was in the context, my straight talk family, and I'll find that for you. It was in the context of the difficulties that we were facing at the particular time. The circumstances demanded that, my straight talk family, in terms of the comments that were made, my straight talk family. And I needed to have you listen to this one, so bear with me, I'll get it to you, so forgive me if I lost the trend of the discussion, but it's important what the elder had to say back then in terms of these issue as it relates to term limits. And here's what Sir Richard had to say.
We have a country as big as the United States where term limit has been in place for several hundred years. Now, in terms of us, we have had, and when I say us, I mean OECS, I mean CARICOM countries. We have had very bad experiences. We had Hobbs Burnham, we had in Haiti, and all those countries where people, they outlived their usefulness as leaders of a country. And so too here in St. Kitts, we are now experiencing some of the same. Our leader has long passed his usefulness, and it is only a question of survival. So I will stand with anyone who would change our constitution. I'm not talking about local laws. I'm talking about our constitution, where it will say that no person, male or female, can serve more than 2 terms.
So it's about changing our constitution, not making no commitment, changing our constitution. And Sir Richard was so right. So it was in this context, and this is my interpretation, that now Prime Minister Harris said back in 2014, Harris had this to say.
I have seen what has become a tragedy and a travesty of leadership in the country as being exercised by Douglas. And we have said that it hadn't started that way. We are on record of saying that, but over time the leadership decayed. The leadership became more dictatorial, more insensitive and repulsive. And so, in a sense, the term limit I've come to accept. The wisdom of it not only in the US, but the research which Kamala put forward. 92 countries of the world have exercised term leadership and brought a new life.
Yes, a different set of circumstances, I submit, were prevailing in 2014. Well, some who served as the deputy for Douglas in Parliament for nigh 3.5 terms and was his deputy leader of the Douglas Labour Party for, I believe, about 27 years or maybe more, expressed a very strange and unique view on term limits by the Straight Dog family. Listen to this.
The step the other day when they tried to bring a bill, a law, to say the Prime Minister should govern for 2 terms. That is something the opposition should have supported, and a man like Sam Kondo pushed us on that.
Hold on a minute, bit. You want to hear me say this 2 terms? Really, whether a prime minister is going to have 2 terms or 50 terms, it has nothing to do with that, the length of the term. It has to do with what you do, your accountability, your transparency, absence of corruption and nepotism and so on. You could be in 2 terms, you could be there for 2 terms and cause more havoc than somebody who is there for 50 years, 7 terms.
Interesting, my Straight Dog family. But let me say, therefore, before I open the lines, my Straight Dog family, that politics is about people. I'm going to open the lines in a few seconds, but I need to say this. The political contract is with the people. Politicians should be servants of the people. The people can end any contract. Just like Harris can make any commitment. To many, that was just a statement. And the Constitution must be supreme. The Constitution is the supreme law. We cannot moralize this argument. Some people are trying to moralize the argument as the only legitimate authority. The only legitimate political authority is the authority consented to by the people. Government should not be in the business of enforcing morality. Not at all. So like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, I will end. The social contract is that government attains its right to exist and to govern by the consent of the governed. My Straight Dog family, it's time for me to open the lines and hear from you. Hear about the energy development, hear about the term limits, my Straight Dog family, hear about the way we anticipate we should go forward. The numbers are 465-2555 and 718-577-2916. There's 465-2555, 2555. It is one number, it has 3 lines. Sometimes it demands your patience. For those who like the cloak of anonymity, we give you access via zizstraighttalk@gmail.com. I always like to implore you, though, when I open the lines, which I'll do in a few seconds, respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and do will be better for all concerned. And let us, in the process, in saying and doing, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 26 before 9 o'clock, I go to the lines. Caller, you live.
Good evening, Patches. How are you this evening, sir?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Good, hanging in there. First of all, I just want to say that I concur with the people. I listened to the debate last Monday night, and I concur with all those who said that 2 terms for Prime Minister, and that's it. I mean, it has nothing to do with Dr. Harris at all. It has everything to do with democracy. Dr. Harris has done a great thing for St. Kitts. He saved St. Kitts and St. Kitts from a show Haiti, a fascist dictatorship. Fascist Denzel Douglas Haiti. And he should be honored for this. And he must be there until the end of his 2 terms, not one day before. He has done great by St. Kitts, but 2 terms. Okay? And that's it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm really, really sorry about that. What if the people says he should serve another term?
No. Well, my personal thing is to see him do 2 terms and then we start with the thing. But we're talking about democracy now. I thought you were with him, Patches, because he said he can do the 2 terms and that's it. 2 terms. You got to remember, Patches, we have a fascist here. So the people who say they want him to go, those are the people who were traumatized by a fascist Denzel Douglas, fascist labor mafia party. So they want to see Harris, as a pro for them. But it has nothing to do with, like I tell you, Dr. Harris. The guy is a good person. He's a people person. He likes people, unlike Denzel. But it has to be 2 terms. I agree. Like I said, my personal thing was to go with Harris for 3 terms and that's it. But it was agreed to it's going to be 2 terms. We have to cut it at some point. You cannot have, look, we got to remember one thing. Okay? And everybody must know this. Black men and women, they do not handle power well. This is seen. You just look across Africa. We are not at that stage as yet. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the way it is. We are not at that stage. Once you give up a black man or a black woman power, first thing they do is start thieving and then start brutalizing their people. And this is it. So these are facts. We have to deal with it. Okay? We are not the British. We are not at the level at the Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Okay? You see the corruption that took place on the Denzel. Look at the building board. Thieving, robbing, telling people can't. We have to, we cannot have it. 2 terms, and even Dr. Harris, the lady who grew up with she tell him, the lady there. So she said, no, 2 terms. Sylvie said, and I agree, I concur. 2 terms, and that's it.
Got you, my brother.
Okay? And like I said, Dr. Harris is a great man. He should be one of the living heroes, national heroes. But 2 terms, and that's it. We cannot stand our people to have power. You give black man or black woman power, they brutalize their people, and they start thieving. Look at all the thieving that went on.
I've got you,
like a monkey. We don't want it. 2 terms and go. Dr. Harris, he has a good future. He could be the head of this, he could be that, he could be over maybe the bank, the EC bank, but no, 2 terms and that's it. The guy is a good guy.
Okay, got
he
you.
said things, but that's it. 2 terms and that's it. Have a good evening, Patrick.
Have a good evening, my dear brother.
Okay, brother.
Got you loud and clear. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you are live.
Okay. Pleasant good evening to you, Patches, and pleasant good evening globally to everyone.
My brother.
Yeah, my opinion on the question you just asked there. Let us follow the Constitution. Dr. Harris is not a greedy man. He is not a corrupt man. He's a God-sent man, and he's a godly man, and he obeys the law of the land. And it's true that the majority of people, we would like him to continue, but an agreement is an agreement, and do not break the agreement, and let us follow the Constitution. Now you play a soundbite there by Sam. I can't believe he's saying what he said. He's saying what he said. A man in there for 50 years. All the corruption in the world is his. Because he tells you, well, this is me one. Nobody could take it from me. I do what I want. I wonder if Sam conscious when he said that. Before the program done tonight, play it back. Let people listen it carefully and see the difference. Why he stand up in Parliament when Douglas went downstairs to talk about what do you think the boundary business? Why he stand up in there? Because he was against the long term of Douglas in there. Because Douglas was in there so long, that's why he do that foolishness. And now Sam gonna come back and say that? Man, anyway, enough for he with that. Because this month is December, Christmas, and a lot of thieving gonna go on. I am asking on behalf of everybody, Skelet, please go tomorrow and brighten up the lights in the square. In the square has too many trees with leaves hanging low that culprits could hide behind them. We've been talking about the square too long. In there it's too dark. Please put lights in there, especially down in the bamboo patch. I chopped down some of them bamboo that nobody could go in, no bamboo patch could hide and pray on other innocent people. I'll come back if I got any more thing to say. So long. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you very much. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Nzing. God blessed evening, my beloved African. And your family of SKM.
Peaceful, my brother. You and yours?
Good, brother. Good. All is well, beloved. Now, brother, let me just take a few seconds. When I hear people talk nonsense about African people, corrupt and brutal and rash, you must go and check the history of barbarism in the Caucasian race, and then you will know that I'm not saying that no Africans didn't commit atrocities against their own people, yes, but nothing to compare with the Caucasian race, the brutality, the barbarism, and come on. Well, you need to go and learn, man. Well, enough of him. Well, beloved brother. Brother, like I said, right? 2 terms for anyone. And that's what we got to get. We must become a republic by 2023. Constitutional reform, electoral reforms, beloved brother, and enshrine it in the Constitution. I mean, we're going to be a president then? No more than 2 terms. And for elected member of that Congress, beloved, no more. Well, okay, let me say 5 years. It's going to remain 5 years for the representative, the senators, and so on. But no more than 25 years, beloved brother, whether consecutive or otherwise, and it must be enshrined in the Constitution. And to change those things, the constitutional amendment, when we become a republic, if those 2 things and others too, beloved brother, it must be changed. It only can come if 2/3 we got a referendum and 2/3 of the voters say, okay, for or against, beloved brother. I don't want to just go inside, the National Assembly, going to be a Congress, beloved brother, and just by vote, it does change things. No, man. Because, brother, we can't, What you say, beloved?
Yes, I've got you. You're running out of time. You're running out of time.
Okay, brother, let me just have and come again because I want to speak and elaborate a little more on this and the renewable energy. So I yield for now, beloved, and come again.
Thank you, my brother. I can give you 30 seconds for renewable energy if you're going there.
Okay, no problem. Let me go ahead, brother.
30 seconds,
because I was sitting down here and I was saying, man, how come Brother Patsy was talking about this solar farm over in, you know what I mean, and geothermal, and I didn't hear anything. I got to ask my beloved brother, and here comes today. Beloved, brother, that's the way we must go, brother. We must go that way. Because, brother, if we continue using fossil fuel, brother, we only destroying Mother Earth, beloved. So, beloved, that's a great step, and I hope it don't take almost 6 years to get that up and running, beloved. I know money is a little scarce now. Things are not come good again, man, in the next year or two, beloved. So, that and agriculture and that must be number one priority, beloved. So, brother, you continue to listen. Pan-Africanism and Paris. One love, beloved.
One love, my brother. And it would take some 12 to 18 months. So, as we mentioned before, the solar farm, a $70 million project. There's no capital outlay, no funding required by government and or Skelec. Skelec will just be the off-taker. They will buy the energy that's produced, so it's no cost to Skelec. Caller, you live. Okay, caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Hi, good night, Patches.
Good night, my brother.
This is Vinsha Mulchan Mangro.
How about thou, sir?
And I'm feeling a little more comfortable, but I'm still looking to the job ahead. I want to say thanks to Straight Talk and Mr. Ian Patches Liburd. I had the opportunity to get to speak to the minister, Mr. Lindsey Grant, and I'm just waiting now to see the fruits blossom and bear into the conversation and the issues that we have. So I just want to say thanks to Straight Talk for giving me this voice on the national radio to get a voice for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, because I've never looked for myself. And if everyone knows Vinsha Mangra, I have something marked on the back of my bus that learn from me. And when I said learn from me, I mean it from my heart. Because my thing is to learn from me to be happy every day. But make sure you do the right thing and make sure that the people that you're serving and the people that you're surrounding with are happy as well. That I'm trying to do in that, Mr. Patches. I'm not perfect. I have faults, just like everyone else. I have sins, just like everyone else. But there is a God, and we believe in God, right?
Yes, and beg him forgiveness.
Exactly, but that doesn't mean that we're supposed to create a crime and then beg for forgiveness and think it is right. So we still have to do the right thing. So I just want to say thank you, Mr. Patches, for Straight Talk. And let Straight Talk live long, because Vinsha is going to live very long. And I'm just going to do the right thing for St. Kitts and Nevis. Because I don't like to put myself into a lot of things, but I must say this. A lot of people look at me and call me all kind of names. But I just want to say to those people, I would never pass you anywhere. I would always say good morning, good afternoon, because that was instilled in me from a little child. And I still think that if I see an elder and I disrespect the elder, and I might go home and my mother got to tell me something, I still think I might get some licks at the age of 43 years old. So, Mr. Patches, I want people to understand, in St. Kitts and Nevis, it's a developing country. Look at today, you had a launch for the green energy, solar energy. We are developing, and so does every single thing in St. Kitts and Nevis. A lot of us have our own vehicles now. Before time, we had to depend on public transportation. And that is what people need to understand. The amount of traffic in St. Kitts and Nevis is the reason why we have to put certain things in place. And we cannot have lawbreakers and haters to stop this system. The government have to do what they have to do, and the people have to understand that their role, what they have to play in the government system. Because just like someone called earlier and said, is the people determine whether the Prime Minister have 2 terms or he have an next term. Just like how the people can decide, look, we country are developed and we need to do the right thing. So, Mr. Pattis, I just want to say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I have been representing St. Kitts and Nevis. And last year I went to England to the Cricket World Cup. And I had my St. Kitts flag. And I was so excited to be there on a global stage, on a world stage, with my St. Kitts flag. I had my flag upside down, and the man messaged me. Guys who know me from St. Kitts messaged me on WhatsApp. Said, boy, you got the flag upside down. I said, well, the best thing about it is that I'm enjoying the cricket West Indies playing, but I have my flag still. I'm not concerned if it's upside down or not, but I love my flag, so I'm going to fly it. And do you know, Pakistanis and Sri Lankans, they wanted to know where is St. Kitts, and I promote St. Kitts. I actually feel like Sir Kim Collins. That's how proud I feel, Mr. Patches. And that is why I'm going to carry St. Kitts and Nevis flag. So, Mr. Patches, please let the people understand that we are working for St. Kitts and Nevis, and the government has to do what it has to do for the development of St. Kitts and Nevis in all sectors.
Okay, got you, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful night, sir.
Have a wonderful night as well. I'm happy that that matter is being resolved. As I said, it's best to have consultation before confrontation. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Good night, Mr. Liburd. How are you?
I am peaceful. I'm peaceful. Yourself?
When they say you with the Prime Minister, he's the Prime Minister. The next term, you're running for PLP since they're branding you for that. But they're still not getting nothing, do like you. They might give food, but that's all. Know who around your mind this time. Mr. Liburd, a government worker, did carry the government courts and still have big position. Others will want to do that too. If the courts give them time to work, so you all can't do nothing about it, it's you all government. We're really moving. Mr. Liburd, the Prime Minister had his everything in one service, and 2 of his ministers did not go. What they had to do so important. They know, but the pastor sermon good enough for the Prime Minister to know them, everyone. Your name still calling. That's what hurt all of them. I'll be back.
Thank you very much. Always sounds like Alice in Wonderland. Caller, you live at 10 before 9 o'clock. What's on your mind?
Good evening.
You're having a wonderful time, Sister Sylvine.
Yeah,
good
man. And good evening to all the listeners home and abroad. It's great to be alive and giving God thanks.
Yes, yes.
Today is Navigator's birthday.
It is?
Yes, Joseph Bergen, the awesome navigator, today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Navigator.
Yes, he's the president of the Association of Persons with Disability. Today is also Ricky Basu's birthday.
Okay.
Now let me start with you and then get to the issue. Because I have been listening since last week. We have got to have our minds pure. There are people who are instigating. There's instigation going on, eh? People come on and say, oh, the people didn't want you, and that is foolishness. If we have democracy, we have democracy. When you won the first time, there was none of that talk. And there are people who are trying to alienate you from people. You know, by making reference to, oh, people chose who they want to choose. The Bible says God put up and God take down. And I can't believe that you would allow people, if you lost by whatever, think of the number who voted for you. Because people are trying to dismiss it. Or they didn't want you. So what about those who voted for you? You weren't swamped, you know. Isn't that so?
I'm listening. I'm listening. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, people are not saying, oh, well, they didn't want you. So what happened to those who voted for you? Don't you feel some connections and nothing to them? I mean, we got to stop this lot of thing we're doing. It grieves me whenever I hear people. Just a while ago I heard one. How can we build a nation? How can we build a people? Now, I live in Newtown, as you know where I live. There was a murder, a homicide down Cathy Alley. It must mean something to you, whether you're in or you're out. So some people seem to suggest you must just turn your back on all who voted for you because you did not get the majority of the votes. That is, I don't know what to call it.
Bitterness.
And the same thing we go. Our principles are very low in this country. Very, very low. We now have the situation where we are asking the Prime Minister to declare that his words mean nothing. If you cannot take people at their words, then what is the use? A man, the Bible says a good name, A good name is to be valued above riches. If I cannot trust anybody's word, it makes no sense. You're asking people, a lot of people are asking people, using all kind of go around the bush. The same thing we have the integrity in public life. Up to now, I heard an answer. What is so difficult in finding a date? You see, there are people who Prime Minister Harris might think they mean him good. But if he was to go beyond his 2 terms, he's going to end up in being more unhappy because there'll be less people who trust him. The word is trust. Can we trust our leaders? We have learned from our last experiences we cannot. In 2010, he said he was going to finish. That led to the debacle. And we had the same rhetoric with people in the labor camp saying, well, if the people want him, the man said he was going to finish. He's going to finish. And we keep saying, oh, what happened if the people? You see, man, we like corruption. Because one corruption leads to another corruption. And I don't think sometimes we look at it in the long term. How is it going to look to anybody? You can't then turn around and expect the people you lead to have principle if you don't have any. And I don't know where all of a sudden this thing come up.
Well, it came up. It has come up because there's a political conspiracy on the other side, the opposition side. Because really, let's
go ahead. Let me hear the conspiracy.
Let's just be. I spoke to this social contract, and I understand everything you're saying, right? But it is a contract with the people.
That is it.
Yeah, fine.
If you look in your manifesto,
yes,
in there,
yeah,
the contract was,
but what if the people
they vote for me,
I understand
they will serve 2 terms.
Yeah, but what if the people wants to annul the
people? Question is which people? In that case, put it to the referendum then.
What if the
if you really want to know what the people think, and it should have been done.
No, but let me listen a bit. What if the people want to annul the contract and said, I'm not asking the question. I'm not saying
contract.
If the contract to serve 2 terms, what if the people
ask you, which people?
The people are the people. The people are the electors.
You mean a few people who are talking?
No, okay.
No, I'm asking you. You mean a few people?
Well, a lot of people don't talk, right? If you look at the surveys.
So they did not believe him when he spoke the first time.
No,
thought he was lying, so he lied.
No, I'm not.
He either lied or he didn't lie,
No, but he doesn't have to accept it. He hasn't said anything.
Come out of his mouth. Nobody forced him to say it.
No. I'm asking the question.
Let me ask you personally. Why did you bring up
Let's not cross talk.
Why did you personally bring up this topic?
Because I've heard a discussion. I've heard a comment on it, and I thought
you see, you're falling in the trap. Because when you bring up this discussion, it divides the unity side. Because it suggests that there is conspiracy inside here.
Not inside the unity, but I mean, anyway, that is your perception, that is your view, and you're entitled to it, and that is what straight talk is
I'm just saying that, for example, over there, I've heard Edinburgh clearly state, if he is having difficulty with his side, why are you perpetuating this discussion? Because the truth is, it never came up before.
That is your view, Lady Henry.
I listen all the time. I follow all the time,
Yeah, thanks.
And I hope Dr. Harris is listening. any going back on your word will be your own political career destruction. Plain and simple. People put you up and then all. It's the same thing happened to Dr. Douglas. If he had done in 2010, he would not have ended up right where he is today with one of his biggest proponents trying to push him out. He would have left honorably. So if Dr. Harris does not want to end honorably, because it is that,
I've got you.
no stress now trying to deal with the corona.
I've got you loud and clear, Mrs. Henry.
Yes, I don't know why you are pushing this concept, trying to sell it.
We are not going to stifle debate. We are not going to stifle debate here on Straight Talk. Okay, anything else?
Not really, only I want you to take.
I got you loud and clear. I got you loud and clear.
Do not follow. Let me go to you personally. Don't let anybody spoil your spirit.
Not at all, Mrs.
But
Henry.
They keep trying it.
Yeah, but please don't say the same thing over and over. I got you loud and clear, right?
I hope so, because I'm looking to see you.
Fine. Thanks a lot for your input. And no one is spoiling my spirit to use your words, but I believe on this station, everyone is entitled his or her view, right? I'm not going to stifle dialogue on this program. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, caller, you're live.
Mr. Patches. Boy, I haven't called into the program before.
How about though?
How you doing?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Well, I'm good. You know, we talk off here all the time.
Yes, we do.
On the program, yeah, I've been calling for a while. Here's my view on these two terms, right? Dr. Douglas was in government. Dr. Douglas and his party was in government for 20 years, right? Now, let us assume that Dr. Douglas stepped down after 2 terms. So you're talking about 10 more years. Would that change the ideology of the Labour Party? Stepping down after 2 terms, how are we to know that the people are not going to put back the Labour Party in power? And I agree, I kind of glad that you bring it up. How are we to know? Because changing the leader doesn't necessarily mean that the party is going to lose the next election. You understand my point?
My brother, listen.
No, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I've got you.
Changing the leader doesn't necessarily mean that the party is going to lose the next election. And how are we to know that the leader that you change after 2 terms is not going to have some great influence on the party that he would still be a part of? Because when he's no longer the leader after 2 terms, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not going to run, because you're not saying that if the 2 terms gone and he has to move out for somebody else, would he be able to run in his constituency still? Yes. So as far as I am concerned, 2 terms, that's my opinion, And I know this individual can call, because he more unity than everybody else. That is my opinion. Changing the leader after 2 terms doesn't mean that they will lose the next election and then the oncoming election after that. So, in my opinion, this is my opinion as a citizen of this country and as an individual who have an opinion, to me it doesn't make any sense. If the man can still be able to run, or if he serves 2 terms and the government win, let's say the next 3 elections, would he be able to be put up by the party as the leader again, or he can no longer be a leader? That's the question I'm putting out there. Thank you very much, Patrice.
Thank you very much as well. And that's a good point you're making. As I said, Rousseau said that the only legitimate political authority is the authority consented to by all the people who have agreed to such government by entering into a social contract for the sake of their mutual preservation. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night to the Honorable Ian Patches Liburd.
My dear brother, good night, sir.
Oh, man, I'm here hanging in, man. I went to the doctor to go take a checkup, Okay. Patches, sometimes that you got to take a checkup, because life is something else. That sometimes you got things going through your body and this and that and you don't know. So you got to go take your monthly checkup or however you take your checkup. Anyway, Patches, I was going through a little challenges, you know, in my life, you know, medically. Patches, I want to thank God for life. I want to thank God for a government like the Team Unity. Patches, they come on the stream in this federation of Think It Name. Patches, when I started from school, I started from school when about 14 years. My father sent me to go on trade with a man named Mr. Boyd, construction. And from that, I started to pay, I think it was 1978, I started to pay my Providence Fund, because he used to pay my Providence Fund. And when Social Security took over, I pay my Social Security, goes up. After some time, I left the construction and I went to cut sugar cane. You understand? And do different things. I work in the hotel sector. I get twice redundancy from one hotel twice. Because they retire me and then they employ me back. And then I work again and I get twice. I get redundancy from the sugar industry. I get redundancy from a construction company in St. Kitts. And come up to whatever in this country. And up to now I'm still working and paying my Social Security. Patty said this to say that now we got a pandemic, the coronavirus coming in the world. And cause a lot of things to happen that work got to close down, country got to close by any means because of whatever. Now, Patty, you know that the Prime Minister and his cabinet put out a stimulus package from the Social Security to give those who in the Social Security and some of the private sector them who ain't working to get something a month time. Very hard to try because other country could not do what we give. We get $1,000. You understand? But Patches, he got some people coming on the radio every day talk about entertainment, nothing for entertainment and all kind of thing. Patches, how many of them in doing this entertainment thing, paying Social Security? Some of them who working in it privately, you know, doing the little vendors and so, don't pay no social. I believe some of them get, pardon again, the government give them something from the Social Security too. You understand? Gotcha. But it's also said that, right? I work so hard, you know, pay my Social Security to coming up. And these people ain't thing. And government must just issue up money so on this pandemic to the people just like that and then pay the Social Security.
Okay, got you, my brother.
You understand? That is, let me tell you something. You got some people who come and talk longer than me. Talk long.
I did tell me that. Let's not go down the road, please. That is my prerogative. Let's not go down the road. Please don't go down the road.
See, we move the sign again.
But you're wasting your time. Just go ahead and say, okay, I'm giving you a few more seconds. That is my prerogative, politics.
So Patty said this to say that no. That these people who don't contribute to Social Security and playing politics with what the government is doing under this pandemic.
Okay, I got you. But you said about
the government just take money and just give people like that and then paying the Social Security. All right then.
I got you, my brother. We need not repeat something 3 and 4 times. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, this is Preacher Man.
How art thou?
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, I just want to support the two-term, you know, because I believe that there's a lot of smart people in St. Kitts. Kittitians are very bright, and Dr. Harris has done a wonderful job, and there's a lot more people outside here can do even the same job as Dr. Harris, because all of us are Kittitians, and we can do a good job. So that is my point of view. We are smart, and we can do a good job, just like Dr. Harris. A lot of us can be honest.
Okay.
God bless.
God bless you. That's how we should be, straight and to the point. Caller, you're live. Call.
Mr. Live, a pleasant good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
And season greetings. I'm glad that you're safe and everything. All is well with you.
I wish you the reciprocal, my brother, the same thing.
Yeah, as I hard and listen to the program, sometimes, I just try to stay away and just listen because you only learn by listening and taking notes. I could recall last week there was something going on with the busman and the minister calling on the radio and addressed something. I've sent a letter to the minister for quite a while now and to his immediate persons within both authorities requesting a meeting for us to have a conversation with him as taxi drivers. Up to yesterday, I was trying to follow up, and up until this day, you see, must know when letters goes to those ministries, there's no return. Sometimes when they call, we have to stop what we're doing and go. It's only fair that we have a dialogue. It's covered. Persons are asking questions and they need answers. I don't have all the answers. I am going through the same situation like everybody is. And it's only fair as the mouthpiece for us to have that conversation. Over the years I've looked at it, there's always a wedge driven between us and any entity. It's like a barrier. And it's not going to get better if we don't have a dialogue. Sometimes a simple conversation can just smooth everything out. But when you put off, you procrastinate, it overflows and it gets into the wrong channel and then everything busts. I am appealing to the Minister of Tourism to try and respond to the requests of the taxi drivers as soon as possible. It has been months that persons are not certain how their life is going to end up. And we must have that conversation. This industry has been hit the hardest of them all. We could have a conversation and chart the course forward from that conversation. But to leave it out there, leave it like you don't care, you have no interest in what is going on, it's only going to make it harder for all of us. Sometimes you're going through a situation, all you need is just comfort and dialogue to get it out there.
You didn't introduce yourself, but so I'll just say president.
Yes,
but
my name is Barry Daniel, the president of the St. Taxi.
Okay, fine. But you said you listened to the program and the minister intimated that he has an open door policy. So instead of waiting for a response, why don't you go and try to see him?
Open door? No, it doesn't work. That's the start.
Well,
there's a barrier there. If you go there, if I am to go there, it's not going to be possible. The letter outlined what we wanted to do. Up to yesterday, I followed up and said I was going to get to him. Nothing up until now. The drivers are asking me questions. They're wondering what's going on. I don't want to go down the wrong road. That's why you see I'm taking things slowly. I'm letting everything take its course. Because a person's going to be glad to jump up and say, yes, they're at it again. It's not a matter of being at it. It's a matter of a dialogue. It's united. We stand together and we move together in unity. Not division and segregation and wedge driven between us.
Okay, heard you loud and clear, Barry. I'm sure as someone will relay that to the minister. I trust he will address the issues ASAP.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liburd. And as always, you always give persons the chance to express their views, respective of all persons. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my brother. It's 12 past the 9 o'clock hour. I go back to the lines. Call you live.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is my second turn on the wind tax. I just got a message from the Labour bylaw saying that there's a shooting on Hanley's Road, so that they have to take care of that. Now, what I'm saying is that patches on thing, because you used to be saying that Dr. Harris said it's going to be 2 terms and it's going to be shown and all this stuff. What happened? I hope you're not changing. But anyhow, Sean, you also Sean. But I don't think Sean is serious about being prime minister. He can be the same mess like Douglas. Somebody even wrote in and talk about the same thing I spoke about, his Mohawk haircut. And he doubles down more. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look, I don't think the guy is taking things seriously. So, like I said, my personal thing was to have it, but it can't be. 2 terms, you made that thing, it got to be 2 terms forever. Remember, Hitler was, and if you look at the so-called labor supporters, they just study them. They have the same mentality of the Hitler brown shirt. Very much like Hitler. You look at them. They're not a good people. Not good. Okay? What Dr. Harris needs to be concentrating on right now, like I said, he's a great man, and he's going to go down in history as the greatest man. 2 terms. But what we need to be is building our people up. Our people have moved that much further since unity being into office. Our people have gone down. I say young girl 2 Fridays ago, effing this to the police, telling the police effing. I say, you all don't give ticket no more? He just passed me, he ain't studying me. In certain parts of America, if you are seen cursing a bad word in front of a baby or a woman, you go to jail. No ticket, they'll put you in jail. Certain parts of America. Michigan and these states. Okay? The standards have gone up. We got to concentrate on building democracy in thinking. There's no democracy. Okay? A lot of the things they think they're still getting. Every time we look in Parliament, there's no real law. It's all kind of nonsense. Well, marijuana, this and all kind of stupid stuff. Okay. We have to build democracy, and we have to build our people up. All we're doing is bribing them, and they're begging and all this stuff. We have to start it. We have a lot of work to do as a people. Okay. And Dr. Harris has got to do this.
Okay.
There's nobody else going to do it. He says thinking, and he got to continue. Okay? Building our people up. Okay?
Got you loud.
A lot of these things we have to, okay? Have a good one, Patrick.
Have a good one as well, my dear brother. It's Ambassador, good evening, reads this email. So I have a barn burner for you tonight. One of your callers on Monday talked about how pitch black the square is, Ambassador. Almost all the lights were destroyed when they were put away last time. But wait for it, it was at Spice. And if I heard a big palm man who is in the know say we got rid of labor us, and we will make sure, we will move heaven and earth to make sure the lights in Basti are bright like he used to have it. Patches, you don't do that. They're following behind you to make you look bad. But you did your job, so the citizens will see the difference this Christmas. Take care. Patriotic citizens. Newton Man. They can't erase all that you have done. God bless you, and I thank you for your service. Reads that email. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening,
Mr.
my dear brother. Sounds like the people's king.
Yes, sir.
How about that?
Now, what I want to say, right? I want people to understand that we do not have a unity party. We have a unity government. Now, when the Prime Minister and some colleagues went over to Nevis to make the deal, there were some people now in the unity party said they never for it. And they never know about it, and they went nowhere. You understand me? So, if my Prime Minister, which is Dr. Harris right now, if he can run all his slate, right, run all the slate them, and he could come as Prime Minister, if he want to honor what he said. But the fact remains, I don't think he should be forced out just like that, because them who come in there, who he walk with up and down through alleys, all about the highways and so on, to bring them down Church Street. Now they reach down Church Street, they're playing a different ball game. So if they're playing that ball game, let the government form a party and call everybody unity, and then they could pass it around to one another. But right now, I don't think it's right for the Prime Minister to just get up on his own and say, well, I'm not going to be Prime Minister and give it to this and give it to that. Because I don't think they're fair to him. A lot of them is not fair to him. The politics greedy and they're getting hungry and hungry everywhere, every day. And they ain't getting nowhere. So let the Prime Minister stay there until things could be better done. The man is doing a good job. Why move him? Why move him? Because that young man said, well, he wants to be Prime Minister for 2 terms. You know, the whole trouble about it, people is not feel. Because a lot of them in there still cooking the man. They're still cooking him. So what are you going to walk out and turn it over to them? No, I don't agree with that. If that's the case then, let me divide it. Who want to run for Prime Minister and who want to run for ministers. Let's do it that way like in the United States. Okay, Patrick, God bless all you. Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity.
God bless you as well, my dear brother. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Ian Patches Liburd, greetings.
Greetings, my brother. How art thou?
I'm very, very, very good, Mr. Patches. What about you?
I am peaceful, my brother. I'm peaceful.
That's the way to be. I'm glad to hear that. You played a clip tonight with the Minister of Infrastructure concerning the investment in youths, which is good. What I would like to see coming from that ministry within this term of his ministry, to look at what was the weakness, why public works couldn't do the Island Main Road, and whatever the weakness was, from that ministry could invest upon that weakness to see in the future public works do the roads in the Federation. Because you see, we always boast about our education, and if our people is qualified in whatever position of education they have, it's good to see it materialize to our eyes. So that would be good for us for in the future. Just like how we see our medical people is performing, it'd be good to see how that structure perform. Even if it's got to be a combination between St. Kitts and Nevis to get our roads finished, they will do that because it's about employment. Mr. Patches, when I listen the Prime Minister on the radio, whether it's an interview or press conference, he always referred to his cabinet. His cabinet is what he always relied upon to keep him sturdy. So the people elected a unity administration to put reform in the system. And why the unity administration continue doing that, putting reform in the system, whoever take over the leadership, why didn't they continue in that role? I don't think the country has a problem, because we are living in spiritual times, and it's either is wrong or right, and also with the road, Mr. Patches, we need inspectors. Why? Because he's always looking at the surface of the road and say, look good, what about the edges, cleaning of the edges? If the child gravels here to do certain work, let them clean it. You never have a decent walk if the sideways are dirty. Continue to be strong, Mr. Patches, and stay healthy. God bless.
God bless you as well, my dear brother. Always look forward to your interventions. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Ian Patches Liburd, good night.
My dear brother, John.
I want to touch three things briefly. Patches, from since you left, I understand some disturbing thing in December at the customs. And I warning the controller of customs who telling these ladies up there to not come before the public and explain that. This is something going on up in the custom for centuries, that when Christmas comes, you can't deny the person who get the barrel from his family go up there and they gone go sort the barrel and the person outside. As long as the person adopting the protocol and using the sanitizer, they should be there watching the custom officer clear the barrel. You understand? Them to not go on the carry and cable and the cookie one and them. Even your Patches. And it's very disturbing. And no young custom officer who achieved to be the controller should be going on the road. They're not cable, cookie one. They establish protocols up there and it should go on, even with the COVID. That is nonsense. That is frustration to the poor people in the Christmas. We're not going to endorse that. And we like it. That is, and next thing I want to talk about, Timothy Sylvester Harris carry the term limits to cabinet. And people who sit down there for 4 terms didn't want it. So they can't tell this country what to do. If the people want back Timothy for 2 terms, I agree. Shefton, I think you're saying some kind of things there. You don't even seem to be understanding, think it's politics. But let me show you something. You understand? If the people want Timothy, the people will request Timothy. I agree that the Prime Minister said he would like to do 2 terms as well as Patches, but people been cooking in his Bastille. But what I'm saying, Shefton, to you, is that we can't go put back people there who can't spend money. And I think you Shefton, underrating Sean. Sean has bring volume to cabinet, to parliament. And don't underrate that guy. He's very sharp. Another guy. And don't mind the hairstyle, because if I had to take over Pam as a rasta, you're going to tell me, are you going to cut me locks? Shefton come better than that, man. And you don't take people talk down there by the Chinese place. Sean more than qualified. And whoever come, we will work with them, but we want people who could spend money, like Sylvester Timothy Harris. And this country got to be on good footing. We can't go back there in a vagabond. Everybody be using Elimaro, and Elimaro is right.
Okay, my brother.
Elimaro is right. He should step aside and give one of these young boys a chance. Okay. This 4 terms you do, you greedy? Have a good night, Patches. I will be back. Culture, heal up, and Jacqueline.
Okay, my brother. Always so passionate, my dear brother. Call you live.
I tell you, good night, Jamdong. I tell you, Dr. Harris is a law-abiding person. I know the man well. He's very honest. Nobody could say he put his finger them in no cookie jar where they ain't supposed to go. He knows how to spend money. He knows how to run the country. We are doing this thing according to agreement. Sean will be the next Prime Minister after Dr. Harris if Sean ain't dead. Now, Patches, I agree with something Miss Henry say, What? We have 2 opposition. Them Kunumunu, them on the radio, and the one now got the big confusion because he's cabal them underneath him. All of them now clubbing up now say he must go. Except the wrong one who you want to put to lead. So them they are them on the other side who help to get you out to update. Them they now coming to distract us from looking at the confusion what they got in the house. So they want now to come distract us now to tangle with the foolishness what they coming about Timothy supposed to go and all of this kind of foolishness and then when Nevis go agree with this. But he ain't going nowhere. God will show him and show the country what is to be done. Dr. Harris is a good man, and the Constitution is the Constitution. But if the people say, well, look, we ain't going to vote. We want you to back to lead. And if Sean said, okay, Dr. Harris, I'll wait my turn. The country, you running the country good, so go ahead. I'm humble. I'm not howy. And let me say this here, all of them who believe they could stab Dr. Harris in the back. Because like Rock said, if he never go to Ali and go in all of them constituency, go help them. Some of them would not even know where Church Street is. But I got news for you, man. You know, hear me sing nothing. I got a lot of lyrics put up in Calypso. Whenever I get them on wax, you going to hear them. And you going to know who could win the election by themselves and who couldn't do it. Patches, thank you for... No, I got one more thing to say. Patches, a lot of things been highlighted over the years about people who break the law and do wrong. One of them work after he contract up for a whole year and get paid. That is wrong. And then the man who get two citizenship, he worked 5 years in parliament and he know he wrong and he get paid. And we want to know if I going to let them there go down the drain, because a man could be tall like Mount Everest and he broke the law, he should be penalized. And if he's smaller, Bobby Allen, he should be penalized. So all who broke the law in this federation here, they're supposed to be penalized. And who owe money, pay it back. Okay. And who don't owe the money, go jail. Thank you very much.
Okay, my brother, thanks a lot. What is really wrong with Dr. Jew reads this email. It is obvious that he has a big problem with Minister Hamilton, coupled with power hungriness, jealousy, grudge, and envy. The ridiculous and frivolous charges he filed in the court against Mr. Hamilton regarding cheating and bribery is indicative of a man who has gone completely mad after suffering 2 successive resounding defeats at the polls by an opponent. Shame on you. Dr. Jew reads this email. At 9:29, caller, you're live. Now let's take this other caller, then caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Okay, miss that call as well. Let's see what this other line says. Caller, you are live.
Yes, good evening, Patrice. I hear you banging off your mouth, right? But me ain't got the water and the shoes yet. Yeah. And I want to know, right, that when people work in the factory, they put so much age. The people, when they want to go are shut down, they talking about they shut down the factory. And then where the other people them go work. People want to work up for the house, and they want to pay for the building. And if they can't pay for the house, then I got to let them get the house free now, because no money there. And no money really in the country like that there. Because if you out there work for 6 months, how you could put margin for the house? And I want to know that if the bus terminal, the ferry terminal, right, it got 3 lanes, so only 2 lanes is working. It's supposed to have 3 lanes for the buses then. Not the empty lane there.
Okay.
And we ain't got no call the already. It's insane that, and I am bringing in people and they got this amount of sickness. To somebody they say, come off the boat and when team tongue or something. That is bad. We need the police them to apprehend them and let them stop do these things in the country, because we can't do in nobody's country. Think it is small and leave it is small. Have a blessed night and enjoy your Christmas, because may see you to get you water and the shoes. I could look at everybody. See you. I say I will write back and I change our phone number from people, because people say they're calling and nobody answer the number dear. And election done now, so everybody get it worse and everybody got to beg.
Okay.
See you.
Okay, my dear. That's my good Labour friend. Caller. Okay, I missed that call. Let's take this call. Caller. What's happening to these lines? Let's take this call. Caller, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, caller, you're live.
Yes, let me knock off the radio.
Please, sir.
Good evening, Artist Liburd.
How art thou, Mr. Welch?
And also good evening to all of the listeners. Patches, I would like to speak to the issue of the 2 terms limit as Prime Minister by Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. The whole world is listening to you, sir.
Now, I did not hear that after the 2 terms, it would also be that Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris would no longer be the constituency representative in Parliament after the next election. And that he would not be the constituency representative for the people of constituency 7. So, could it be that Prime Minister Harris would like to see a colleague of his in the now government be given the chance to lead the government after the next election, perhaps that is so. So I do not think that Prime Minister Harris has any doubt that his constituency, number 7, would not send him back to Parliament in the next election. And I don't think that if they're so determined that he should go back, that he would not take it on. But I can reasonably assume that he would tell them that he will give some other person in this party with him now a chance to show his colors when the next unity government gets into office. I hope I'm understood. Thank you very much, Mr. Liburd.
Thank you very much as well for your intervention. We go back to the lines. Listen, that line, caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, you. Hello.
Hello, good night.
Good night, my dear.
Mr. Patches,
How art thou?
I am not too bad, sir. I'm calling with a concern. It don't have anything to do with what you are talking about with the two-term government. My concern is the protocol that was put in place by the COVID-19 task force. Now, I have a child that is in school overseas, and there are students, and I am saying that I think the government should have put something in place for the students that came home to be with their families for the Christmas season. Instead of having them paying this lot of money over at the hotel in Frigate Bay, something should have been put in place to accommodate the students. We poor people, the parents who have to be providing for these students during this pandemic. I mean, come on. Something should have been done because they have to pay for 14 days in quarantine. At the end of the 14 days, they're going to tell them that they have to pay an extra night for an extra night at the hotel. At whose cost? Do you think that is fair?
Why do they have to pay an extra night?
But that is what the person from the COVID-19 task force called them and told them they have to pay for an extra night because the 14-day quarantine comes to an end on Sunday and the labs are not open on Sunday. So they will not be able to get back the results before Monday. So they will have to pay for an extra night. I mean, I find this is unfair because they are students. No kind of exemption. I made to understand also that students are over at the Royal St. Hotel quarantining for free. So I am asking the question. I really don't know what is going on. Some quarantining for free, and it seems as though it depends on which region you came from.
But I say that at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, I had to pay. So why are you saying that free? The Royal St. Kitts, the arrangement.
Students.
Well, that will be an arrangement with the management, not the government. There's a private hotel.
But I am saying students are staying over there, and they are quarantining for free.
But you can't substantiate that, so I don't want to peddle that because you said you heard so. But I am saying it's a private arrangement, it's a private hotel, so I don't. If the management does that, that's a private arrangement. I take your point in terms of the lab being closed and so on. It's unfortunate to come in on a Sunday, but I don't know what can be done, if anything can be done about that. But let's not get on and saying and peddle things that you cannot verify. But I take your point in terms of, is your daughter or your son was in, at the hotel?
My daughter, so you don't think something should have been put in place to accommodate the students? They ain't working nowhere.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what can be done. I mean, I empathize with you, but, you know, our government has limited resources, and resources are derived from revenue from people like you and I who pay the taxes, whatever taxes. So I have to say government, I mean, in Canada, for example, they give every taxpayer $2,000, but sure and behold, that the tax will rise come the next budget season in Canada. So the government gets its revenue from the tax it applies to people. So it's not the government don't have money on a tree and they just pick it. So you have to understand really.
But government got money to do all kind of things. But I am saying these are students. I think something should have been put in place to accommodate the students because they are not working. Come on, man. Even okay, if they tell them, well, you have to pay half. But Jesus Christ, $1,200 US, and then you still have to pay when you come in to for a test, and then you got to pay at the end again of the 14-day quarantine. I mean, Lord, man.
Okay, my dear, I empathize with you, but I really at this moment can't say what can or should be done. But I know government doesn't have unlimited resources. That's the most I can say, though. But
government got money to do what I want to do. You hear? That's all I can say.
Okay, my dear.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your input. And that's what Straight Talk is all about. You are entitled to your view. Caller, you're live.
Good evening, Honorable Patches.
Good evening, Matron. How about thou?
Oh, very good, very good, very good. I just here lying down listening to everything, and I've been trying so hard to get in. And I want to say a very pleasant good evening to all those who are listening, all those who have put in their little bits and pieces. And we are so happy that we can have this conversation. And you know, since Monday night, I'm living here in Florida, but as you know, my spirit is right down there. Because from Monday evening after we spoke, this two-term business has been going through my mind. I want to thank Sister Sylvine. She is really a mother of a woman of wisdom, and the older we get, we get wiser. And she usually gives some very, very, very strong words and good support. Thank you, Sylvine. Keep it up. That's what the Lord have us here for. Anyway, what I want to say tonight is that what has been going through my mind, I have lived for, I must know, 4 administrations. I came back to St. Kitts when the Bradshaw government was in power. He was then the premier. And I went through some rough times. A lot of people went through some rough times. And many had to migrate, whether legally or illegally, because of the hardships. And I don't know how many years that that administration was in power. But I know I wept many times. I know many people cried because life was so hard. And to every time they had an election, no matter how you think that the opposition would win, oh no. I could remember when Miss Charles won. In her house, the members of her house, she had less to vote for her than the members in her house. And I know the whole Freights family voted for her and her house family. But how that worked out, we didn't know. And things went from bad to worse. The Lord, in his divine intervention, again, he relieved us. And then we had Dr. Simmons came in. And after that, things changed. A lot of people came back. Some people came back home. Things were looking bright and happy. And a lot of people were in the middle class, poorer class, moved up. Who didn't have cars, have cars. When I grew up, only one car was in Tabernacle, right? And even when I got there, it was only maybe 3 of us had a car. Mr. Blois, we had a car, and Mr. Bradshaw, and maybe somebody, the Gilfilins. But apart from that, nobody else had cars. And I mean, people still had trash house and so on, and all that cleared up during the Simmons administration. And then we grumbled and we fret, and the Lord allowed whatever Simmons lost, and we got Mr. Douglas. And we got him for 20 years. And when I visited St. Kitts, sometimes tears were in my eyes. People used to meet me in the street and begging me. People called me on the phone and were begging me. And I said, no, this is not the St. Kitts that I know. And my heart really sank. And if he had got back into power, do you know what would have happened? We wouldn't get out. And again, God in his divine intervention raised up Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris to stand up boldly in that house. I was in St. Kitts when he made that speech. I was leaving the very next day to come back, and said, if I perish, I perish. And those words went through my heart. It pierced my heart. And I was determined that if he perish, I will perish too, because I will be a part of whatever he intends to do. And God was with him and brought us, like the children of Israel, out of Egypt after 20 years of hardship. And if Mr. Douglas had got back in there, we would not be free. We would not have a place where we could call in and talk and say what we want and what we don't want, and telling the administration what to do and to do it right now. And, you know, sometimes we are so demanding. It's a lot. He has to work out the budget. Mr. Sean Richards is an economist. He knows about money too. And the two of them just put their head together. And we always hear him saying, thanking Sean Richards for the support he has given to him. And I'm warning us, we like to listen to too much of them say, and especially from the opposition. That is what they're there for. They are going to sow all sort of doubt, all sort of mischief, all sort of things, because they are there they want to cause division. And I'm begging you all to stay together. They went into the house already, and we know that the only reason why that bill was not passed is because those in the opposite said no, because they feel if they get back in, they're going to stay there forever, for life. We see what is happening here in the United States. If they didn't have this two-term, they wouldn't get Mr. Trump out that house, you know, out the White House. Thank God we have the two-term. And I believe even when they go to the Supreme Court, it's going to cast out, because it's 2 terms. And he lose the first term, he got to go. And I'm sure that Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris, the boy that I knew grew up, when he going to try and get that bill passed. It's going in the Constitution.
Okay.
And he's going to step down.
I got you.
And he's going to be there for his constituents, number 7. And not only that, he's going to be there for all the people still.
Okay.
But he's just not going to be the Prime Minister.
Got you loud and clear, Matron. Thanks.
Yes, one day he's not going to be with us, you know.
I got you. I've got
one
you.
Day he going. And what happened? He is thinking of our children and of our grandchildren and what he will leave behind for them.
Okay.
Right. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bless you all.
Matron. Always good to hear you. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live at 12 before 10 as we wind down tonight's program. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, good night.
Good night,
And good
sir.
night to all listening right across the planet.
Good night.
And thank you again for the conversation tonight in terms of I endorse it. Not to turn for Dr. Timothy Harris. I'm not for that. At this point in time here. We never know what will happen. And we just kind of take the chance in terms of putting that in law. I'm not for that deal. I'm not for that. Dr. Timothy Harris have not even lead PLP in an election. You have the unity in an election. And if you got to come down to leading the PLP in an election, I think this still have to be open to having the option in leading PLP into election. You cannot just cut off time. I don't care who I want to talk. I do not think it should be law at this point in time. And I think I need to have me say in terms of referendum. Have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my brother. Let's go back to the lines, caller. Mr. Call, let's take this call. Caller, you live.
Yes. Now, Mr. Liburd, I've come back in for a minute. Right now, what's happening here with this law business and what with
You got a radio on, Professor.
Yeah, sorry about that. Now, the whole trouble about it, people could watch and say, well, he said he gonna last 2 terms, he gonna do terms and come out. But them is opposition talk. They can't beat Harris. So if they get rid of Harris, they could tangle with the rest. But they cannot beat Harris, you know. So I don't see what this big deal about. Election just gone on last year, this year, right? And they're still talking about election already. They got the one problem, let us solve the one problem. And leave Dr. Harris to solve everyone what he doing greatly. He know what he doing. He know what he's doing. Give him a chance. You know, don't try any victim before he time. He pay his dues, and he's still paying his dues. You know, so God bless you all again. Okay.
Thank you. God bless you as well, my dear brother. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Hey, Patches, let me show you something here. All of them who talking about the government and the children, the government struggling here. It's just the God-given talent of Timothy to scrape enough thing. Lady, we build a new facility down there, the country ain't making the money. Lord, are you whole, are you own? I could be so wicked to the government, and the government must be higher Santa Claus, not in this country, you know. Maybe another one. We just bring them back home, almost $2 million, $3 million. Lord, for heaven's sake, come and ask them if they could go to the private owners them in the quarantine facility and ask them if they could assist I paying half for the children them. You want government to take a people money to them? What the hell happened to you? But I don't understand what's going on. But my government shouldn't be stressed about this. And the woman so damn feisty and behaving like she's saying something right. Well, I want me treat you and come back to, you know. I want me treat you come back to. But yes, I do not let these people frustrate you. I wonder if the fellow, I wonder if this crazy fellow from Temple who give every money to these people over the Christoph is the fellow. The lady sounds so arrogant and pompous. And got in the going on. Like she don't understand this is a pandemic. Think it's a machine and make money? Think it's a machine making money, miss?
Okay.
You sound so foolish.
Okay,
have a good night, Patches. Rock, take care. Timothy and I know real. You're doing a great job, and we want people who could spend money.
Okay, my brother. Always so passionate. Caller, you live.
Yes, Patches. This is over the problem morning, no? And the unity about the children, them. No, they don't vote. They want the fitting now because I ain't give them the fitting when election. See you.
God, look. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, your line. Hello, caller.
Mr. Packers.
Good night.
John the Baptist.
Yeah.
How art thou, so?
Listen here. I've been hearing, I get up, I went to sleep, I get up about 12 minutes past 9. And I'm trying to get in there. Listen here. We are in number 7. And Mr. Timothy Harris, he are not going nowhere until Mr. Harris make up his mind and say he finished from running. Well, but in number 7, he is going to be the man for number 7. Every election, now he's 27, he can continue be running. And so I am in number 7. He himself, he stepped down from the prime ministership. And I can tell you something, you know. He himself, the man who can take over, he only gonna get the name. But Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris gonna be there to back him up. But listen here, people can still go to Mr. Harris and talk to Mr. Harris. But chance to the government have the prime minister. But Mr. Harris don't still look after a son. Because this year, the way that Mr. Harris is doing, working out, and I'm going to say it to you, it's God put Mr. Harris there. If God didn't move Douglas out of office, look what Douglas do. He couldn't win. And God intervene. So me not see what people are going on with. I mean, I see people are get on with. Timothy Harris is for number 7. And as I live, if I live the next 5 years, I'll be voting for Timothy Harris and put him back in office. And he are going to look after number 7 and the whole country. So when people get up and start to go on with stupidness, nobody could move. I will say it again, nobody could move Mr. Harris.
Okay, got you, my dear brother.
Okay, you take care.
Have a good night, my brother, the Bible man. I listened to Minister Hamilton on Mike Powell's show, where he stated that he assisted many Labour supporters in housing, lands, etc., over his own supporters. Well, Mr. Hamilton, I hope you and the ministerial colleagues and patches have your lesson, that hopefully next time around, Godspeed life, you will look out first for your supporters, because you have witnessed the gratefulness of those Labour supporters in the last election. The village donkey cook is perfect, a perfect example. His house got fixed over numerous unity supporters, and to this day still cursing the government. Not a word of thanks, he says. This message reads, the size of land this solar power plant will take up, it is wise that this same area you construct a building structure and you put the solar power on the top. And this size of building structure can be used for a shopping center with lots of stores or warehouses or a medical center or something. But that big size of land should be given a thought with a big rooftop, so you get 2 in 1, a building and a solar power farm on the top. Thank you. Reads that email. As we wind down tonight's programming, I'll take a few more calls before we wrap this show and make way for, I think it's the mayor of St. Paul's, Sir Clark, who comes in with his lovely music. Call you live.
Yeah, Mayor and Patches, quickly. The problem here is that when a government put a law in place, the law may appear to be put in place to affect the party that may come after in the case of labor. But you have to remember, that the law is also going to be applied to you, the person who put it in place. And that is why you see, I do not believe in the two-term. I mean, to me, you're saying that if you have a leader who is going to the point of being a dictator, the two terms would come in to get him out, right? What about a leader now who is doing good now? The two term going to have to affect him. So if you see my point here, I do not believe in the two term. Because like I said already, that even though the person might adhere to the law of the two term, he can still stay in the party in the background and make certain changes. This is just my opinion. Thank you, Patches. Have a safe ride home.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. Let's take this call. Make this my penultimate call for tonight. Call you live.
Good night, Mr. Patches. Marsha here.
Good night, my dear.
Okay, two things I want to get off quickly. Prime Minister Timothy Harris is the best thing that ever happened to St. Kitts and Nevis. Nobody can do it like this man. This man is a man, a God-sent man. And come next election, whether he's not going to be Prime Minister, he'll be right in party. He will be right in cabinet. He'll be right there as the Deputy Prime Minister, or even the Minister of a Minister of Health. Just saying, a Minister of anything, because we need Timothy Harris. We need this man, because look how he working out things in this COVID-19. I was looking at a clip the other day. People overseas are not getting pay. Every month, the government workers get pay. Because this man know what he's doing. He's focused. He is focused. And I want to skip a little bit from politics. Patrice, I'm calling on the Minister of Health to take care of the JNF Hospital. The JNF Hospital, I heard that you have a lady up there who abusing the workers up there, saying they're dumb and they can't read. I'm calling on the Minister of Government to take care of those people up there. Also, Patches, my last point I want to say, if you don't like my Prime Minister, I don't like you and you don't like me. So whoever in the voice, whoever on the radio land can hear my voice, my name is Marshall Lewis. I don't care if you don't like the Prime Minister, you don't like me, and I don't like you. Patches, and I want to strengthen Rock Point. I want to strengthen John Dung Point. I'm behind them 100%.
You know, Marshall, we're going into what we call the Yuletide season, right?
Yes.
The Christmas season, and it's a season of love. So,
well, but I am a woman who love my Prime Minister because I know he's doing good for my country. I know he's doing good for the Federation. So if you don't like my Prime Minister, you don't like me and I don't like you neither. Christmas is love, yes. And I'm a peaceful woman, I'm a quiet woman, but I'm a woman who loves politics too. So that's why I'm sending out my words tonight, that if you don't like my Prime Minister, pass me straight. And I said, long live Dr. Timothy Harris, love you always. And anyhow, Patches, to get home safe, and you have a blessed night. I was calling in all night. Finally, I get you. God bless you, Patches. You is a good man, you know. You is a good man. But this, as I said, this word is for you. You is my cousin. The step of a great man are ordered by the Lord, and the Lord is ordering your step.
Okay.
Okay, you have a good night, Patches.
Have a good night as well, my dear family. Russia has the best and safest vaccine. Reads this email. St. Kitts and Nevis need to purchase the vaccine from Russia. Thank you. That's the views of that emailer, not necessarily the views of Straight Talk and all the hosts of Straight Talk. But that's the way we're going to do it tonight, my Straight Talk family, because my time is done and I got to run. The lines are going, but here's what. If you can use 15 seconds, call up. Can you use 15 seconds? Can you use 15 seconds, Carl?
Mr. Patrick,
I'm going to give you 15 seconds.
I want to say, be strong. This is what I'm telling you, be strong and unmovable, Mr. Patrick. Mr. Patrick, the Bible says in Psalm 41, blessed is the man that considereth the poor. In the time of trouble, the Lord shall deliver you. Mr. Patrick, you've been looking after the poor, and so don't worry your head. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. You, in every way, you are going to be ordered by God, and God is going to have you, and you shall not be moved. And the last thing I'm going to say, no weapon that form against you, Mr. Patrick, shall prosper. And every tongue that rises up against thee in judgment shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servant of the Lord. Good night, Mr. Patrick, and go straight home.
Good night, my dear brother. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the night. And my Shidok family, that's the way we're going to end it because my time is done. I got to run. I want to leave you with Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who opined in his writings that the only legitimate political authority is the authority consented to by all the people, who have agreed to such government by entering into a social contract for the sake of their mutual preservation. And he went on to write, and I quote, the social contract is that government attains its right to exist and to govern by the consent of the governed. My Straight Dog family, I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, and I want to say that no topic is off limits on Straight Talk, and everyone, every single one, has a view and a voice on Straight Talk. So I want to thank all those who called, for those who sent emails, those on social media, those who listened to the big national station, the big radio ZIZ 96.1 on your FM dial, and also my friends on Sugar City FM St. Kitts. Wherever you're connected, remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that I say a big, big thank you. Do not move your dial. The mayor of St. Paul's, Theo Clark, I think, is the one coming in the hot seat, and he plays some music I'm sure you will love. So until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, have yourself a wonderful weekend, my family. Do your chores, go to church, do whatever you do it in moderation. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
For the morning light, give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food